Hello, God's people. This will be the last video I send as of right now for planning and your goals. And this is going to be talking about temptation. I want to make sure that you understand how to, at the very least, deal with temptations in a godly and wise manner. And specifically, I'm going to talk about how you need to really look at every instance of temptation as poisonous and deadly. The problem is that we know for a fact that one cigarette does not make you addicted. We know that one extra slice of cake does not make you overweight. We know that skipping one assignment in school does not, or at work, does not necessarily wreck your career. And we're pretty sure that you can actually, like drugs like heroin, you're not necessarily going to be an addict your first time. But you need to treat every one of those instances as if they equal full blown sin. You need to look at again, heroin is a strong example, but you shouldn't do heroin or smoke crack or smoke meth or any of these things just because you might not get addicted the first time. You might, but the point is that you're making action potential for the future. You do not want to be in a place where you are making excuses for doing drugs. The same thing goes for not following through on your assignments at school or at work. Again, yes, you're not going to necessarily fail if you skip an assignment. You're not necessarily going to get fired if you skip a job or flake out on your job. But if you make a habit of doing it, you could potentially lose your job. You could potentially fail a class. Again, with the cake or whatever, again, if you're one of your goals is to be healthier physically and you've defined that more specifically with SMART goals by saying you want to lose 10 pounds, yeah, one piece of cake is not going to necessarily destroy your diet. But one piece of cake 10 times over a week will. So you need to look at all of these instances, these things that are hindering progress, hindering you from achieving your goals, as poisonous, not just as hindering, not just as obstacles. Because what will happen is if you look at them just as obstacles, you'll think, oh, I can overcome this. You got to admit the fact that you're not as strong as you think you are. That's why we need to treat these things as an end in of themselves. Don't miss assignments. Don't flake out on your job. Don't eat the cake. Don't do drugs. This is why the Bible is so very clear about don't do. You have 10 commandments and they're don't do's. Do not do this thing. And again, it's not that stealing is going to necessarily wreck society, but when sin becomes a habit, it can. Sin can wreck your life, even if you do it one time. And you need to treat it like poison. If you sneak a candy bar and shove it in your pocket, sure, the world's not going to end. But it does create action potential for you to do that again in the future. Because sin in and of itself is addictive. So if you have clear goals and you have SMART goals and you know what they are, you need to make a list of the things that are going to hinder you or trigger you or stop you from achieving those goals. And you need to avoid them like the plague. You need to treat them like they're poisonous. Like even being near them could potentially destroy your goals and your plans. And you need to treat those things accordingly. You need to rid them of your life completely. But again, studies show over and over again, and one of the books I read was by Baumeister. It's Willpower, talking about the importance of self-control and grit. He actually advocates for exactly this. You need to treat every temptation as an end in and of itself. You need to see it as a success versus failure. You cannot look at it as, it's not that big a deal. Anyway, if you have any other suggestions or ideas for avoiding temptation, please add it to the notes and comments, or shoot us an email and let us know, because other people can absolutely benefit from whatever's worked for you. All right, well, God bless you and have a great day.